Going live.
Yeah, we are live. Shabbat shalom, everyone. Good Shabbos. It is live on Friday night from Huntington. It is. It's Friday night. It's Erev Shabbat. It was a hot one out there today, but quite pleasant. As far as I'm concerned, it was pleasant. And it's been a bit of a mixed week in terms of weather. But thankfully, our air conditioner got fixed. So there is air conditioning in the Judd Olet household. And, my luck was that I called 5 air conditioning people. I spoke to the first one because they answered the phone, and then the other 4 blew me off. So if you need somebody to recommend an air conditioning person, organization, come see me. Yeah, because they actually showed up. And it was really nice. All right. We are going to start our Kabbalat Shabbat service by benching Licht, and we have Judy coming up to bench Licht for us this evening. Pages 2 and 3 for the readings and blessings.
O source of light and truth, creator of the eternal law of goodness, help us to find knowledge by which to live. Lead us to take the words we shall speak into our hearts and our lives. Bless all who enter this sanctuary in need, all who bring the offerings of their hearts. May our worship goodness, peace, and love. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kashanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu l'adlik ner shalom.
Thank you. All right. Oh, let's continue with a responsive reading on page 6. Page 6, responsive reading in English. May the door of this synagogue be wide enough to receive all who hunger for love, all who are lonely for friendship. And the door of the synagogue be narrow enough to shut out pettiness and pride, envy and enmity. May it be too high to admit complacency, selfishness, and harshness. All right, let's continue with Lecha Dodi, song from the mystical city of Swat. Page 20. Page 20. Lecha Dodi likrat kala, Pnei Shabbat nikabila. Lecha Dodi likrat kala, Pnei Shabbat nikabila. Shomo v'zacho b'dibor echad, Ishmi'anu el hamiuchad, Adonai echad u'shmo echad, L'shem tiferet v'litila, Lecha Dodi likrat kala, Pnei Shabbat nikabila, Likrat Shabbat lechu v'nilcha, Ki mikor ha'bracha, Merosh mikenev nehesucha, Sof ma'aseh b'machshava techila, Lecha Dodi likrat kala, Pnei Shabbat nikabila, Mikdash Hashmelech ir melucha, Kumitzei mitocha vecha, Rav lahak shevet v'yemecha b'cha, V'hu yachamol alai chemla, Lecha Dodi likrat kala, Pnei Shabbat nikabila, Itna ari me'achar kumi, Lipshi bigdei tifartei chami, Al yad ben ishai beit halachmi, Korba el nafshi ge'ala, lecha dodi likrat kala, pnei Shabbat nikabela, hitori, hiva orek kumi ori, shir daberi, kevod Adonai alayich nigla, lecha dodi likrat kala, pnei Shabbat nikabela, lo teboshi velo tikolmi, mahatish tochachi matehemi, bach yechesu aniyehe ami, v'nihivneta yir al tila, lecha dodi likrat kala, pnei Shabbat nikabela, v'hayu l'shipsa shohosaich, v'rahachaku kol mevalayich, yasis alayich Elohayich, ki himsos chatan al kala, lecha dodi likrat kala, pnei Shabbat nikabela, yamin u'smol tifrotzi, v'et Adonai ta'aritzi, al yadish ben artzi, v'nihismecha v'nahagila, lecha dodi likrat kala, pnei Shabbat nikabela, boi v'shalom ateret bala, gam b'simcha uv'sohola, toch emunei am segula, boi chala, lecha dodi likrat kala, pnei Shabbat nikabela. We'll just turn the page to 22 for some verses from Psalm 92, the Psalm for Shabbat, and let's read the outdented paragraph together. A psalm, a song for Shabbat. It is good to praise Adonai, to sing hymns to your name, O Most High, to proclaim your steadfast love at daybreak, your faithfulness each night, with a 10-string harp, with voice and lyre together. You have glad me by your deeds, Adonai. I shout for joy at your handiwork. How great are your works, Adonai, how very subtle your designs. A brute cannot know, a fool cannot understand this. Tzadik katamar yifrach, ke'erez balvanon yiskeh shetuli b'beit Adonai b'chatzrot Eloheinu Yahafrichu. O Jenu Deseva Deshenim Bera'ananim Yiyu Lehagi Ki Ashar Adonai Tzuri Velo Avlatabo. And page 24, we'll welcome the angels who come to visit us with the greeting, Shalom Aleichem. Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hashari, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech, Malachei Amlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Boechem l'shalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon. Mi Melech, Malachei Amlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Baruch Hu l'shalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech Malachei Amlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Seichem l'shalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon. Mi Melech Malachei Amlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. All right, we have welcomed Shabbat, and Shabbat is with us. Let's turn to page 146 as we begin the Arvit service, the evening service for Shabbat with Baruch Hu. Baruch Hu et Adonai HaMevorach. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach Le'olam Va'ed. Page 147. Let's read together the three paragraphs in English. Adonai, your majesty is proclaimed by the marvels of earth and sky. Sun, moon, and stars testify to your power and wisdom. Day follows day in endless succession, and the years vanish. But your sovereignty endures. Though all things pass, let not your glory depart from us. Help us to become co-workers with you and endow our fleeting days with abiding worth. Baruch atah Adonai, Ha'ma'ariv Ha'ravim. Page 148. Ahavat olam Beit Yisrael, Amcha ahavta, Torah u'mitzvot, chukim u'mishpatim, otanu limadeta. Al kein Adonai Eloheinu, B'shochmeinu uv'kumeinu, Nasiach bechukecha, V'nismach b'divrei Toratecha, u'b'mitzvotecha, le'olam ha'ed. Ki heim chayenu, V'yorech yameinu, V'yorech yameinu, Uvahem nehege yomam v'layla, Yomam v'layla. Ve'ahavat techal tasir mimenu le'olamim, Baruch atah Adonai, Ohev amo Yisrael. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Ve'ahavta ha'et Adonai Elohecha, b'chol levavcha, u'b'chol nafshecha, u'b'chol me'odecha. V'hayu advarim ha'eleh, asher Anochi mitzavecha, hayom al levavecha, v'shinantam levanecha, v'dibarta bam, v'shivtecha b'veitecha, uvlektecha b'derech, uv'shoktecha uv'kumecha. Ukshartam le'ot al yadecha, v'hayu l'totafot b'neinecha, uchtavtam al mezuzot beitecha, u'visharecha, leman tizkeruhu v'asitem et kol mitzvotai, v'tem kedoshim le'elohechem. Ahani v'Adonai Elohechem, asher hotzeiti etchem me'eretz Mitzrayim, liot lachem l'Elohim. Ani Adonai Elohechem. Page 151. Let's read responsively in the English. We worship the power that unites the universe, a promise of harmony for all.
Yet that oneness leaves our transgressions and perfection evil.
Before our eyes, there is a vision of perfection, order, and goodness.
There is evil enough to break the heart, and there is good enough to exalt the soul.
When will redemption come?
Grant everyone when we claim for ourselves.
Long ago, we escaped the tyranny of Egypt. Our people saw the power of the Most High.
We learn our presence begins time of baptism. We celebrate this power.
Top of 152. Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi kamocha nedar ba'kodesh, nohora tehilot, ohosei fele, malchutecha ra'u vanecha, bokeyam lifnei Moshe, zeili anu v'yamru, Adonai yimloch leolam vaed, v'nehemar kifad Adonai et Yaakov, u'galo miad chazak mimenu, baruch atah Adonai, Ga'al Yisrael. Top of 153, the second bracha after the Shema, Hashkivenu. Hashkivenu Adonai, Eloheinu l'shalom, v'ha'amidenu shomreinu l'chaim. Hashkivenu Adonai, Eloheinu l'shalom, v'ha'amidenu shomreinu l'chaim. And let's read the paragraph together in English. Give us a place to rest, O God. Shelter us in the long, soft, evening shadows of your truth. You are true protection and safety. In your presence we find love and acceptance. Watch over us as we go forth. Prepare for us as we return. Spread over us your shelter of peace, over all we love, over our Jerusalem and yours. Baruch atah Adonai, Aporei Sukkot Shalom Aleinu, V'al Kol Amo Yisrael, V'al Yerushalayim. Page 154 at the top, Vishamru. Vishamru B'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat, La'asot et ha-Shabbat, L'dorotam berit olam, Vishamru B'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat, La'asot et ha-Shabbat, L'dorotam berit olam. Beini uvein B'nei Yisrael, Oti li'olam, Vishamru B'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat, La'asot et ha-Shabbat, L'dorotam berit olam. Ki sheshet yamim asa Adonai, et ha-shamayim v'et ha'aretz, Vishamru B'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat, La'asot et ha-Shabbat, L'dorotam berit olam. Uvayom hashvi'i Shabbat vayinafash, Shabbat vayinafash, Shabbat vayinafash, Vishamru B'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat, La'asot et ha-Shabbat, L'dorotam berit olam. We are at the Amidah, the central prayer for the evening service, and we'll begin on 155 and chant 155, 156, and 157 together, and then we'll go silently as we finish the Amidah on our own. And as you finish it, you can finish the prayer in the Hebrew, you could read the English translations, or offer up your own personal prayer during that time. Let's begin together on 155, the Amidah. Adonai sifatayti tach, ufiati tehilatecha. Adonai sifatayti tach, ufiati tehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips, that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu, Elohei Avotenu v'Imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Ha'gibor V'Hanora, El Yehod, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, V'konei ha'kol, v'zocher chasdei avot v'imahot, u'mevi goel livnei b'neihem, למען שמו באהבה, מלך עוזר מושיע ומגן, ברוך אתה אדוני, מגן אברהם בעזרת שרה, אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני, מחיים מתים אתה רב להושיע, מוריד הטל, מחלקל חיים בחסד, מחיי מתים ברחמים רבים, סומך נופלים ורופא חולים, ומתיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו לשני עפר, מי כמוך בגיבור, ובדום מלך, מלך מביא תומך מחייב, ומצליח ישועה, ונאמן אתה לחיות נקי, ברוך אתה אדוני, בחיי המתים. Still completing your Amidah, please take your time. We're going to jump ahead to page 160, and let's read the middle paragraph together. 160. In these hours of rest and renewal, open our hearts to joy and our minds to truth. May all who struggle find rest on this day. May all who suffer find solace. May all who hurt find healing on this day. May all who despair find purpose. May all who hunger find fulfillment on this day, and may we all live in such a way that this day fulfill its promise. Baruch atah Adonai, mekadesh hashabat. A little bit of hoda'ah, a little bit of thanksgiving. Now, we turn to page 163. Page 163, and let's read responsively at the top of the page. For the good in us which calls us to a better life, we give thanks. For the desire in us which leads us to work for peace, we are grateful.
For life and nature, common and beauty, hope the hope of tomorrow. All praise to the source of being.
Yeah, let's turn to page 164. We'll complete our Amidah with the prayer for peace, and in the evening, it's Shalom Rav. 164. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Ki atahu melech adon lechol hashalom. Ki atahu melech adon lechol hashalom. Shalom Rahav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rahav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. V'tov be'einecha levarech et Amcha Yisrael b'chol heitu b'chol shah b'shlomecha. Shalom Rahav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rahav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Tasim Leolam. Tasim Leolam. Praise are you, Adonai, who blesses your people Israel with peace. Baruch atah Adonai, hamevorech et amo Yisrael b'shalom. Page 253, we'll jump ahead, page 253, for one of our prayers for healing. This one is the Mishaberach. And if you have anyone who needs a little extra healing, please keep them close to your hearts and in your thoughts as we prepare for Mishaberach. Mishaberach Avotenu Mekor HaBracha Leimotenu. May the source of strength, who bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Mishaberach Imotenu Mekor HaBracha La'avotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen. Pages 258 and 259, prayers of our community. Top of 258, Hoyt.
Source of all being, may the children of this community learn these passions from us. Love of Torah, devotion and prayer in support of the needy. May we guide with integrity, and may our leadership be in your service. May those who teach and nourish us be blessed with satisfaction, and may we appreciate their time and their devotion. Bless us with the fruits of wisdom and understanding, and may our efforts bring fulfillment and joy.
Baruch atah Adonai, she'otecha levarcha b'yirah na'avod. Marilyn, how about the prayer for our country?
Thus says Adonai, this is what I desire, to unlock the fetters of wickedness and untie the cords of lawlessness, to let the oppressed go free, to break off every yoke Share your bread with the hungry, and take the wretched poor into your home. When you see the naked, give clothing, and do not ignore even your kin. If you banish the yoke from your midst, the menacing hand, the evil speech, if you offer compassion to the hungry and satisfy the famished creature, then your light will shine in darkness.
Amen. Amen.
Shalom, Shalom, Yerushalayim, Yishlayu, Havaich. Pray for the peace of Jerusalem. May those who love you prosper. Avinu, Shabashamayim, Tzur, Yisrael, V'golo, Barech et Medinat Yisrael, Reshit Tzmichat Gulatenu. Hagein Aleha B'Yevrat Chasdecha, Ufros Aleha Sukat Shlomecha, Ushlach Uracha Ba'amitecha, V'Rasheha Sareha V'Yotzeha. V'Takneim Be'etzah Tova Milfanecha, V'Natata Shalom Ba'aretz, V'Simchat Olam Yosheveha, V'Nomar Amen. Brenda, in the bottom 259, would you read the prayer for Israel? Bottom of 259 in English.
O Heavenly One, protector and redeemer of Israel, bless the state of Israel, which marks the dawning of hope for all who seek peace. Shielded beneath the wings of your love, spread over it the canopy of your peace, and you send your light and truth to all who lead and advise, guiding them with your good counsel. Establish peace in the land and fullness of joy for all who dwell there.
Amen. Thank you. All right, friends, Shabbat Shalom and good Shabbos. We get to start a new book of the Torah this week, the fifth and final book, known as Devarim. And it is composed of Moshe's final speeches to the children of Israel as they are poised to enter into the promised land. The word Deuteronomy is a Greek word, and it means the second law, or as it is known in Hebrew, the Devarim has a second name. It's called the Mishnah Torah, which also means the second law or the second Torah. It's a review mostly of what had happened, but there are still plenty of new mitzvot and a couple of new lessons to learn. The wanderings are over. The 40 years have come to a close. Bnei Yisrael is now about to enter to the land. Moshe is going to die on Mount Nebo, and he begins his last lecture. He recalls the 40 years of wandering. He reminds the people of the bickering and their complaining. And he admits that he couldn't control it. He couldn't lead on his own. He needed help, and that's why there were judges installed. The first time Israel was ready to conquer the land 40 years ago, it was a different generation. And they sent out the spies who came back with an exaggerated report. The people complained, the people sulked, they refused to go forward. They lacked faith, Moshe reminds them. And they didn't live to see the land. The only two of that generation, Caleb and Yehoshua, are the exceptions, the next two leaders. The original generation really never got over their slave mentality. They were never going to be able to live on their own. Moshe recounts the routes they took during the wanderings, recounting what happened at the different stops. And he reminds them, and I think he reminds himself, that this is not the generation that experienced the great miracles. They were not the ones that left Egypt. They were not the ones that saw the plagues. They were not the ones who saw the splitting of the sea. And they were not the ones who experienced the giving of the Torah at Mount Sinai. Moshe, however, is letting them know where they've been, where the people have been, the wanderings, so this generation, doesn't make the same mistakes. This week we have 2 new mitzvot. There are no positive mitzvot this week, 2 negatives. which brings our total of mitzvot up to 415 out of 613. So we're about 200 mitzvot left. And that is your Torah portion in a nutshell. Oh, friends. I wish I could go 1 week, 5 days. I'll go 3 days. I could go 3 days where somebody wasn't proposing or expounding on some sort of conspiracy theory. I've had it with conspiracy theories. I never liked them. I grow bored with them because it's just a lot of nonsense. But the political climate in our country allows for conspiracy theories to just spread. I often ask, where are the adults in the room? But I'm often disappointed. Recently, Robert Kennedy Jr., bastion of the left, opened his mouth and released a vile anti-Asian and Jew-hating theory about COVID-19. He said, quote, COVID-19 attacks certain races disproportionately. COVID-19 is targeted to attack Caucasians and Black people. The people who are most immune are Ashkenazi Jews and Chinese. Now, he said this at a dinner. I guess there was wine, who knows? And the New York Post caught it on video. This is not secondhand. This is not something I read. I went back and I watched the video. 19 minutes of my life I'll never get back. I could have stopped it as soon as he said that COVID-19 is a bioweapon that was targeting Caucasians and Blacks. Welcome to the new Jew hatred. Same as the old Jew hatred, really. I mean, go back to 1348 to 1351. Those were the years of the Black Death. Jews were accused of poisoning the food. Jews were accused of poisoning wells and streams simply because we did not contract the Black Death as often as other groups did. Now, there was a very easy, simple solution for that. Let's see if you know it. Why did Jews not die as much from the Black Death as they did from the swords of the Christians during the Black Death? What was the reason? We seemed to be immune, but we really weren't. But it seemed that we were.
We have rules of cleanliness and
Especially what?
the food we eat.
We had nothing to do with the food.
No?
Washing our hands. We wash our hands before we eat meals with bread. That was enough to keep the Black Death away from us. Not completely, but enough that it made it look like we were immune. So in order to drive the point home, the Christians rounded up the Jews, tortured them, and burned them either in their synagogues or in the public square. On the eve of the Black Death, right, in 1348, in Europe, there were 363 cities with considerable Jewish populations. During the pandemic, 1/2 were either killed or expelled from their homes. All it took was some idiot at dinner saying, you know, that Black Death, you know, the ones that's focused on, it's focused on killing the Europeans, but those Ashkenaz Jews, they're immune. Oh, I'm sorry, that was Bobby Kennedy Jr. this week at dinner. Except it wasn't Black Death, it was COVID. RFK peddles in conspiracy theories. Right? He's been, as far as I know, as far as I followed him, everything from climate to COVID has some sort of conspiracy about it. He compared the mask and vaccine mandates to what Jews underwent in the Holocaust. And he denies his words. He denies that he said what he said. It was caught on video. But he denies, that's not what I said, he said. Roll the video, please. That's still not what I said. He was then touted by Shmuley Boteach a gadfly of a Jew, if there ever was one. Shmuley Boteach likes to write books like Kosher Sex, Kosher Jesus. He was one of the hangers-on to Michael Jackson. When Roseanne Barr simply said in an interview a couple of weeks ago that there were no Jews killed in the Holocaust, he defended her. He likes celebrity. He likes to be well known. So he pulls RFK onto his podcast or an interview and basically says, Mr. Kennedy, you cannot be a Jew hater. You support Israel. Of course, RFK said, of course, I support Israel more than anybody in Congress, more than even my father and my father and my uncle. Okay. So now we know that all you have to do after you utter something inanely anti-Jewish is say, but I support Israel, and we're going to forgive you. I'm not going to forgive him. Because he played into the same old tropes that every anti-Jew, every Jew hater has played into in history. The Jews are a separate race, and they are different from the whites, and they are different from the blacks, and they're different from the Asians. And that's basically what Kennedy said. COVID-19 targets the Caucasians and the blacks, but the Jews and the Asians are immune. The Black Death targets Europeans, but the Jews are immune. Now, Kennedy can get up and say whatever he wants. I understand that. We live in a free country. But then he has the unmitigated gall when a number of Congress people say, you know what? We don't think you should be coming to Washington to talk to us about anything right now. And he screams that he's being censored. He's being canceled because what? I didn't do anything wrong. I love Israel. Maybe. The modern trope of anti-Judaism is now you can say something totally outrageous and then vociferously deny it. We've seen it in politics since day one, but since 2016, it has become almost a mantra to every politician. I didn't say that. We have it on tape. I didn't say that. We have it on tape. I didn't say that. I certainly didn't say that. And I don't know. I don't know if people, are suffering from brain dysfunction when after they say something like that, and then go back and say, "Well, I never said that," or "That wasn't what I said." Well, we haven't. Everyone has seen it. Everyone has heard it. This wasn't doctored. This was at a dinner where you started talking about bioweapons and how the Jews are immune to COVID-19. He was challenged at the hearing by Debbie Wasserman Schultz, and he basically said that she was slandering him and misrepresenting his statements, but he would not answer her question. He says he has a better record on Israel. I fought more ferociously for Israel than anybody, but I am being censored here. Censored. He's not being censored. Nobody's censored him. They're calling him on his nonsense. They're saying what you're saying is bad. It's wrong. And I'm certain that he can get up. And I'm certain, I want to give him the benefit of the doubt, that he will apologize. And somebody will forgive him and they'll say, all is good. And maybe even I will find a way to let him off the hook. But here's the thing. We can let him off the hook. But I'm telling you, there's somebody in Proctorville who heard what he said. There's somebody in Milton. There's somebody in my hometown. There's somebody in Kansas who heard what he said. And those Jews, I knew it. And my aunt died from COVID. I'm going after them. Chuckle at me if you want. Call me all over the top. But in 1932, that's how it started. In 1351, that's how it started. And I'm tired of politicians getting these free passes to say whatever they want, to be as vile as they want, and we just pass it off. We just say, oh, well, that Kennedy, what can we do about him? Not listen to him. Not vote for him. Not give him the time of day. He can't be anti-Jewish. He can't be a Jew hater because he supports Israel. He can't be a Jew hater because a former Orthodox rabbi says he can't be a Jew hater. He's just misunderstood. The racist tropes, the anti-Jewish tropes, the Jew-hating tropes are there, friends. Hitler and his cronies said that we were a separate race. We weren't even at the same level as the white people. Kennedy says the most vile thing, COVID-19, which I have to tell you, friends, affected lots of Ashkenaz Jews. Lots of Jews in New York, people that I knew, people that I davened with, people that I studied with, got sick. But we're supposed to be immune because we have the space lasers. We, the globalists who control the banks and the entertainment and the money, we're immune to it. It's an old, old trope. It gets older and older, and it gets even more vile. People want to say that he's not a Jew hater. All evidence to the contrary. He hung out with some noted anti-Semites recently. He was buddies with Farrakhan. If you hang out with anti-Semites and you say anti-Semitic things, maybe, just maybe, you're a Jew hater. If it walks like a duck, if it quacks like a duck, it's not a zebra. You can't walk it back. And if we ignore it, we do so at our own peril. The political season, the primary season, the 2024 race is starting up now. And we're going to be hearing more and more of this. It's got to stop. We have to stand up. We have to call him out. We're not censoring him. We're not canceling him. Freedom of speech is also the freedom not to have to listen to garbage. They didn't want him to testify in front of Congress. That wasn't violation of his freedom of speech. That was a group of our leaders saying, you know what you're selling, we're not buying. Go peddle it somewhere else. That's it. Go peddle it somewhere else. But we need to make sure nobody buys it. We ignore this at our own peril. This week, Tisha B'Av falls on Wednesday night. Wednesday night it begins. The temple was destroyed because of our inability to get along and our inability to keep people from saying vile things. I hope we don't have to relive another Tisha B'Av. Shabbat Shalom. Shabbos. Mari.
Kiddush.
It's Kiddush, yes. Yes, something to take my mind off of the stuff. All right. Gotta find my page. It's not where I left it. There it is. Vayher vahivoker yom hashishi vayechulu hashamayim v'haaretz v'chol tzivam vayechal Elohim bayom hashvi melachto asher asa vayishvot bayom hashvi mikol melachto asher asa vayavarech Elohim et yom hashvi vaykahadesh oto kivo Shabbat Mikol melachto asher bara Elohim la'asot. Savri, Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'ratza banu. B'shabbat kodsho, b'ahava uvratzon, inchilanu. Zikaron lema'aseh bereshit, ki hu yom techila lamichai kodesh, zecher letziat mitzrayim. Kivanu v'charta, ve'otanu kidashta, mikol ha'amim. B'shabbat kodshecha, be'ahava uvratzon, inchaltanu. Baruch atah Adonai, mekadesh Shabbat. All right, friends, please remain standing. We turn to page 282 as we can begin to conclude our service with Aleinu. Aleinu l'shabeach la'adon ma'kol, la'atei pidula li'yotzeh reshit, shelo asanu k'goyei ha'ratzon, shelo samanu k'mishpachot ha'adama, shelo sam chelkeinu b'hem, v'gor aleinu kechol ha'olam, v'anachnu korim, umishtachavim umodim, lifnei melech malchei hamlachim, akadosh baruch. Shehu noteh shamayim v'yosed haaretz, u'moshev yikamo b'shamayim b'mahal, u'shrinatu zo, v'govhei meromim. Eloheinu Einod, Emet Malkeinu Efesu Lato, Takatu V'Torato, V'yadata Hayom V'Hashivota, Elevavecha, Ki Adonai Hu Elohim, B'shamayim V'mahal, V'al haaretz, mitachat Eino. Takatu b'toratecha Adonai yimloch li'olam moed. V'nehemar v'harya Adonai lamelech al kol haaretz. Vayom hahu yihyeh Adonai echad. U'shemo echad. You may be seated. This week, we continue the Shloshim for John Lentz and Fred Weisberg. This week, we observed the following yard sites. Anna Bernstein, relative of Don Hyman. E. Henry Breaux, son of F. and Irene, husband of Elizabeth, father of Susan and Pete. Ben Kaplan, relative of Saul. Gert Scar, David's wife, mother of Tom and his siblings. James Cohen, Peggy's husband, David's father. Meyer Davis, father of Bob. Stephen Goldston, Joan Lerner's brother. Ella Hauptman, Joan Lerner's aunt. Goldie Himmelstein, Steen or Stein? Himmelstein.
That's my, yeah, my.
Yeah, Himmelstein.
my grandmother, yeah.
Grandmother of Dennis. Oki Napier, friend of B'nai Shalom. Herta Rowan, David Fields' aunt. Evelyn Goldstaff, Jack Gottlieb's aunt. Marvin Newman, first husband of Margie Feder Leventhal. Florence Fishman, Harry Greenstein's niece, Irving's cousin. Herbert Neufeld, Mark's father, married to Enid. Rabbi Abraham Feinstein, Ohev Shalom's first permanent rabbi. Bertram G. Landau Sr., Bert's father. Joe Mendelson, Evelyn's husband, father of Carol, Ann, and Teddy. May their souls be bound up in the bond of life eternal. May their memories be a blessing to us all, and may they all rest in peace. Mourner's Kaddish is found on page 294. Yit Gadol, Yit Kadash, Shemei Rabbah, Be'alma, Divrach, Yurtei, Be'almit, Malchutei, B'chayechom, B'yomechom, B'chayei, D'chol Beit Yisrael, Ba'agala, B'zman Karim, B'ibru, Amen. Yehei Shmei Rabbah, B'varach, L'olam, Olamei Almaya. Yitzrach, Yishtabach, Yitzhar, Yitzramam, Yitnaseh. V'yitadar, v'yitalev, v'yitalal, Shmei D'Kudsha, B'richu, Le'elam, B'yinkol, B'irchata, B'shirata, Tushbachata, B'nechamata, D'amiram, B'alma, B'yimru, Amen. Yehei Shlama, Rabba, Min Shmaya, V'chayim Aleinu, B'al Kol Yisrael, B'yimru, Amen. Oseh Shalom, B'yimrumav, Hu Yaseh Shalom, Aleinu V'al Kol Yisrael, B'yimru,
Amen.
Amen. You may be seated. All right, friends, Shabbat Shalom, good Shabbos.
Shabbos.
A couple of quick announcements, Mr. President. Do you want to do them?
Sure.
But don't say anything about Wednesday night.
Okay. Oh,
It's okay. It's something different.
okay. How are we doing?
No Yiddish choir. No Yiddish on Wednesday.
All right, good Shabbos. Tomorrow's service at 10 a.m. sharp. Be there or don't be there, and I'll be unhappy. Next weekend we'll have service here again at 6 p.m.
No, Sunday.
Sunday. So we have Sunday too, don't we?
We have Sunday services.
We have
right?
Sunday services at 9. Yes.
Yes.
And still working. The rabbi and I are going to be meeting with the mayor on Tuesday to discuss the Jewish Cultural Festival and anything else. If you have something else you'd like to raise for us to raise, let me know. Okay,
That works.
works great.
All right, thank you.
Thanks, sir.
All right. Okay, so on Sunday, we're also having at 1 o'clock Hebrew and at 2 o'clock introduction to the Tanakh. And last week we had almost as many Jews as we did non-Jews in the room. So it was almost split down the middle. We had about 15 people for the second class. And so we're getting there. We're getting there. That's Sunday, 1 for Hebrew, 2 for Intro to the Tanakh. Wednesday night, there's not going to be Yiddish choir because we're going to have our Tisha B'Av service. We'll come here, we'll hear the book of Eicha read, we'll read it in a dark room, and we will study appropriate things for the saddest day of the Jewish calendar. So that's Wednesday night at 7:30 right here at B'nai Shalom. And then we'll be back for services next Friday, next Shabbat morning, and next Sunday. A little under 2 months before the high holidays, just letting you know. And tomorrow at 4 p.m. Israeli time, there's going to be a big protest in Jerusalem, big protest at the Knesset. The people, the Israelis have taken to the streets. And there's a march that started in Tel Aviv. And tomorrow they're going to arrive in Jerusalem and protest the government at 4 p.m. And a former teacher of mine, someone who I follow on social media, put out a video of the march of the people, and it's quite something to see. I know Marilyn saw it with me this afternoon, and it's amazing. It's amazing. It's not just young people. It's not just old people. It's not just the secular Jews. It's the observant Jews. It's all cuts across all parts of the society. They want their country back. They want their country back. So we wish them hatzlacha. We wish them much luck and much success. And I hope it remains peaceful. It's been peaceful up to this point. And we'll see. We'll see. All right, let's close out on page 321 with Adon Olam. Adon Olam Asher Malach B'terem Kol Yitzir Nivra Li'eg Nasa B'chepso Kol Azai Melech Shemo Nikra B'yacharei Kiklo Takol Levado Imloch Nora Vehu Haya Vehu Hoveh Vehu Yeh B'tifara Vehu Echad V'ein Sheni Laham Shelo Lahachbira V'li Reshit V'li Tachlit V'lo Ha'oz V'ha'misra Vehu Eli V'chai Goali V'tzoreb Li B'yetzara Vehu Nisi Umanos Li Menat Kosi B'yom Ekra B'yahado Akid Ruchi V'yeti Sham B'yahira B'im Ruchi B'viati Adonai Li V'lo Ira. And we have some people on the intertubes saying hello to us this evening. Let's see. Oh, looks like the first one. Yes, that is Mom. Shabbat Shalom to all from Rabbis Mom and Cliff. Thanks, Mom and Cliff, from Warren, Pennsylvania. Wishing all a peaceful weekend and a good week ahead. Thank you. Judy Lundy, Shabbat Shalom. Wonderful to be with you again. Judy, we're wonderfully happy to have you with us again. So Shabbat Shalom to you as well. All right, friends, Shabbat Shalom, good Shabbos. We are open. Everything is in person, all of our classes, Sunday 1 and 2. And Shabbat Shalom, good Shabbos, and please be careful out there.
Good Shabbos. Good Shabbos. Shabbat shalom.